obviously I'm a member of a minority group, and so is it just natural that I would think about this?
I'm not so naive as to think that, oh, we live in the 21st century, that, you know, diversity is a given. It's not even an issue anymore.
Other cultures are fascinating, and we should be sort of enlightening ourselves and our children.
Live in a...
white.
We're all
Sort of
world mutts. We are.
Hi friends, this is Karen Waldron with Chickalunks. And actually an article that I recently read on msnbc.com has kind of given me the impetus to talk about our subject today. And I'll tell you about the article first. It was about a speech given by Eric Holder, who is the new Attorney General here in the United States. In his opinion, the United States was, quote, a nation of cowards, end quote, on matters of race, and with most Americans avoiding candid discussions of racial issues. So I thought, just to sort of prove the point that we here at Momversation are not afraid of anything, that we could talk a little bit about that, because it's actually been something I've been thinking about a lot recently. My family is very multiracial. My husband is English. I'm from the Caribbean, from Trinidad, and our daughter was born here, so she's biracial. And right now she goes to a really, really diverse Montessori school. Very, very diverse. I think just about every race and country on the planet is represented in her particular class. Like, it's very, very diverse. And we have decided to go ahead and place her in to our local public school for kindergarten next year. One of the things that sort of worries me about her school is the fact that it is not a particularly diverse school. That she will be going to school, I think something close to 80% of the students are white. My question for our panelists are, how important is diversity, creating a diverse community for your child? Is it something you think of consciously, or is it something that you don't really think of? And if you do think about it, how do you do it? Like, how do you make that community happen without it feeling contrived?
Karen, this is something I can probably talk about for an hour, so I'm going to just have to restrain myself here. I too am biracial. My father's from India. My mom is Eastern European Jewish. The town that I grew up in was just an extremely homogeneous Christian town. So not only were there very few people of color, there weren't that many Jews either. My sort of cultural awakening didn't happen until college. I went to UC Berkeley in California, and it was a hugely diverse campus with a lot of attention paid to ethnicity and culture. And for the first time, I was just bombarded with people's questions about, you know, what was my background and what languages did I speak? And it was actually really shocking for me. I sort of resented the fact that everyone wanted to know all these personal details about me, because I didn't feel like it mattered.
You know, I really think it has to do with geography and where you live and where you are raising your family. For us, you know, we live in Los Angeles. We live in a very metropolitan city. Archer goes to school, like you, Karen, with there is a ambassador for every country in his class. His girlfriend is Korean. His best friend has 2 moms. It's not even just racially diverse and culturally diverse, but diverse in terms of different kinds of families. That's one of the reasons that we decided, when we found out we were going to have a child, to stay in the city, because that is something that I wanted my kids to be growing up. I want them to grow up surrounded by people of all flavors.
I'm a bit jealous of you. Like, I can't believe how amazingly diverse your neighborhood is, and I think that's awesome. Houston's huge and very metropolitan and very cosmopolitan as well. It's like, you know, it's between the 3rd and the 4th largest city in the country. But in my experience, they tend to be neighborhoods of ethnicity. So there's sort of the black part of town and the white part of town and the Hispanic part of town and the Asian part of town. And I do not know of any neighborhoods that I would say are as diverse as the one you've described that you live in.
We live in an area that's, you know, a little more well-to-do. We're definitely on the poor end of the neighborhood. And that was another thing. I wanted to make sure that Archer was able to go to a public school, which we have a good one in our neighborhood, and not just in with kids that come from all, not only just culturally diverse, but socially diverse. monetarily diverse. The private schools even around here are extremely racially diverse. So if one day we can afford to send him to one, you know, that will still be an option because it's not just a bunch of white kids.
We live in Portland, Oregon now. We moved away from the Bay Area, which is just so diverse. And, you know, diversity it's just a given. We live in Portland, Oregon now where it's not a given. I think the best that you can do, beyond being conscious about where you live, if that's something that's a choice for you, that's not always a choice for everyone, is to turn your attention to different cultural events. Take a look at the different kinds of, there's so many free festivals and fairs, especially in the summer, that you can go to that really get you thinking and talking. And there's music to be listened to. We listen to music from all sorts of different countries. We don't even leave our house and it gets us talking and thinking. And then, of course, there's the best way, which is traveling.
Asha, I am so with you on that. I've actually made it sort of a personal goal, although I won't do it this year, but personal goal to make sure that Alex leaves the country at least once a year, even if it means just driving to the border to the other side of Mexico. Like, I think traveling with your kids and exposing your kids to different cultures is just so important.
We handicap our children by not giving them access to that as soon as we can. Because the world has gotten so small because of technology, people are going to have coworkers in India. People are going to have coworkers in China. I mean, it's going to happen. It has to move beyond lip service at this point. And so the earlier we can show that to our kids, either sort of by consciously making choices about music and culture and all of that, or living in a place that's naturally diverse, the better off they will be. I just think there's no turning back.
Join the Momversation at momversation.com.